Good afternoon. I'm greatly honored to be asked to come and share my thoughts on church property and facilities management. So my topic is efficient church property and facilities management. The importance of property acquisition and development for the growth and the progress of any organization, we know that it cannot be overemphasized. But of equal importance are facilities and property management, because we know that if we don't maintain what we have spent so much to put up, a very valuable property can easily deteriorate into within a few years and become dilapidated. And so we need to think about property and facilities management right at the onset of property development. Usually we would think about the design, the financing, the documentation, and all that at the onset. But we wait till everything is in place before we start thinking about how to maintain the property. But this should be right at the beginning. It's usually good to have a facilities person or a property management person to sit at the project table with all the others. It helps a great deal because his or her mind is at the end of the project. And so they help even with the choice of fittings and fixtures and space management and all that right from the onset, and can save the church a lot of money in that regard. Property and facilities management can be seen as an integral part of any development that will determine the longevity, the durability, and the productivity of any built asset. And conflict between church leadership and stakeholders, or facilities management and stakeholders, may seem inevitable. However, much of it can be avoided if the person who has been put or designated to take care of the property and facilities management understand his or her expectations, and they are adequately equipped, and then they are also given the space to operate, to play their roles effectively. Exactly what are the roles of property and property managers and facilities managers? Who should be given the responsibility to manage a church property and its facilities? Is there a difference between the management of church property and other types of properties? And who are the key stakeholders in all this? So although facilities management and property management are distinct roles, two distinct roles, they have a connection. There's a connection between the two. And one person can easily perform both roles. You can be managing the property and managing the facilities at the same time. But I would just like to just give the distinction here. In property management, it's about the operation, the control, and the oversight of real estate and physical property. Property managers really focus on commercial value and return on investment. Facilities management, on the other hand, is the day-to-day management of key areas in the building. It integrates people, places, and processes within the facility or the building to ensure that things run smoothly. And so it's centered on managing the physical environment to create a conducive space for the occupants. And so it focuses on ensuring the functionality of the building and then the comfort and the safety of the users. I want us to look briefly at the role of property managers. They would typically handle lease administration, which includes ensuring there are lease agreements in place. They also fulfill the responsibilities of the property owners. They ensure that the tenants comply with the terms and conditions of the tenancy agreement. And they also do rental marketing. That is, they adopt marketing strategies to attract and retain tenants. The next thing that they do is financial modeling. And here, what they do is they analyze market trends. They will evaluate investment opportunities, and then they will develop financial projections. All these are supposed to help the property investor to take decisions. They also manage the life cycle costs of the property to help to cut down on cost. What does the facility manager or the FM, what do they do? Facility managers are dedicated to ensuring the health and safety of occupants of the building or the users of the building, and also the functionality and the productivity of the building. And in line with this, facility managers adopt proactive approach to identify and address issues related to the building operations, its maintenance, and its sustainability. They also manage the life cycle of property by implementing maintenance plans and conducting inspections and coordinating repairs and renovations. And they also focus on energy efficiency and sustainability initiatives that will help to reduce costs of operation and lower the impact on the environment. So we asked the question, is managing church property the same as managing any other kind of property? There's not much difference because the principles are largely the same. We know that churches are very, very busy, and so facility management is a very, very important aspect of running a church. And the constant use of the facilities requires a high level of coordination, of planning, and scheduling to ensure all responsibilities are well taken care of. The various property and facilities management procedures and routine maintenance practices are very critical because they ensure that the building's infrastructure, the equipment, the fittings, and the fixtures are always operational and functioning efficiently. You have to make sure that everything is checked, is inspected, is attended to, and repaired if it needs to be repaired, to ensure that they are all in good shape and ready for each service, ready for each event, ready for each program. And so there's a lot involved in this process. And I must say that it can be very, very overwhelming for most property and facilities managers, especially where the church is big. I want us to look at church facilities management in practice. We look at some core functions. Facilities management is key whether the property is owner-occupied or it is rented. And so these are the key processes. We have cleaning, we have security, maintenance and repairs, waste disposal, general supplies, landscaping and gardening services, utilities and alternatives, record keeping, and last but not the least, leases and tenancies. The first is cleaning, and this involves sweeping, mopping of floors, dusting of furniture and equipment, and every indoor space, halls, offices, washrooms, and any other kind of like receptions, everywhere needs to be cleaned without exception. Also, we have the church grounds, that is the exterior areas of the church. And this is one of the most important parts of church facilities. This includes the exterior of the building, the walkways, the sidewalks, the parking lot, the signage, the gardens, and anything else that is on site. The exterior needs to be kept as neat and welcoming as possible, what American colleagues would call curb appeal. It should have a curb appeal. And there should be a dedicated janitorial team that will clean the facilities at regular intervals. And this could be an in-house team or a contracted company. Cleaning should be regular and not random. Every day there should be cleaning going on at scheduled times. And this is one area, and there has to be deep cleaning now and then. The deep cleaning part is one area that a lot of churches skip out on, and it eventually shows over time. So that is it for cleaning. The next one is security. Security is a very important area that cannot be ignored or overlooked, especially as crime has become more sophisticated these days. Added to the fact that churches have an open door policy and anyone can just walk in. You never know who is walking through your doors. And so we have to take security very seriously. Closed circuit television cameras need to be installed in critical areas on the church premises, both inside and outside, for monitoring all movements on the property. Access to the area where money is received, counted, and kept should be restricted for obvious reasons. And the area would also need, I don't know what other churches would think about it, but it should have a CCTV coverage. Other measures include the installation of electric fencing to prevent unlawful intrusion over walls, over fence wall, and there should be both day and night security guards equipped to protect and patrol the property at all hours. If this service is outsourced, it should be covered with a service level agreement as well. It's also beneficial to connect with law enforcement agencies, as it's possible for them to assist with security during major events and even block off roads if necessary. We do that in our church, and we have people that we call all the time when we have major programs, and it's very helpful. The third area to consider is maintenance and repairs. And regular maintenance of facilities is one of the broader considerations that every church needs to have. Having a maintenance schedule in place really helps to ensure that routine maintenance is done consistently. And when we talk about maintenance, it's covering electrical fittings, internet cables, furniture, air conditioning systems, standby generator sets, plumbing, carpentry. When it comes to repairs and maintenance, it's always beneficial to have a team of artisans who you can call on for emergencies. And we have a lot of emergencies when we are managing any property. And this includes carpenters, plumbers, electricians, masons, painters, and the like. Equipment maintenance. There's a lot of equipment used to run churches these days, and they should be maintained just like anything else. We have our computers, our printers, photocopy machines, microphones, sound systems, mixers, speakers, stage lights, and the list goes on and on. And because these are specialized items, it's also good to have dedicated maintenance from professionals.